Prince George's County, Auburn, Mann, and Milton, Lawler, who are going to introduce us to their Father of the Year, and that is Michael Wigglesworth. Mr. Mann, how are you?
Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Denise?
I'm well. I'm doing good. And you too, Mr. Lawler? Dr. Lawler, I can say, I guess.
Either way it works. I'm
All
fine.
Right.
Thank you.
Good. And Michael Wigglesworth, how are you?
Doing wonderful. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm going to start actually with you, Mr. Mann. Can you just tell us about the Father of the Year of Prince George's County, the program, and how you all came up with your Father of the Year?
Okay. Well, the program was founded with the intent of assisting single-parent men who desire to be positive role models and encourage them to be, responsible fathers. And kind of the reason for that, because what we've noticed in society was the crime, the increase in assaults, hate, violence, that role models need to be basically coming from the community. Because as we've seen right now, the politicians, the athletes, et cetera, they really don't have an impact or positive impact overall on fathers.
Yeah, it's interesting because they tend, everybody is doing this, right? Pointing fingers at each other. And this seems to be a way that you all, Dr. Lawler, has maybe tried to come up with a solution, a way to address that. You want to talk to us a little bit more about the program and how Mr. Wigglesworth became your Father of the Year?
Okay, Mr. Wigglesworth, along with was selected Father of the Year from Prince George's County, and Julio Richardson was selected from as Father of the Year from Montgomery County.
Okay.
The criteria behind that was, and we have that criteria in a nomination form on the Fathers Incorporated website. Okay. But there are 5 questions that are basically answered. And the person that nominated them had to answer those questions. And those questions were based on our mission and vision, which basically was brotherhood, manhood, fatherhood, and gentlemanship. And so the nominees, or I should say the person that nominated them, basically addressed the criteria on what I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We have a voting, and the board members voted, and we have a scoring system, and values is assessed to each question, and we basically ranked them among the other people who were nominated, and Mr. Wigglesworth and Mr. Richardson were chosen as Father of the Year for the respective counties.
Wonderful. Mr. Lawler, you want to jump in before we start talking to Mr. Wigglesworth?
Well, no. Yes. Just briefly, the Fathers Incorporated, they acknowledge the presence that we do have men within our community who are doing what they're supposed to do. And basically, we base it on traditional principles, but we also realize that we have new generations now. I'm baby boomer 1 generation, and I think we have 5 generations after that. So we have fathers all the way down to I think Generation Z now. So we're just acknowledging their presence, and we want to address them the way that they desire to be addressed, because we realize that within our community, many communities, that there is an identity problem. And within the Black community, that identity problem is exacerbated by the lacks of resources, income,
right,
education, so many things. So I want to congratulate Mr. Wigglesworth and Mr. Richardson for being the Fathers of the Year. And this is something that Father Incorporated does every year. We have 3 previous Fathers of the Year for the previous 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we are looking for nominees to come in for Father of the Year for 2023. And I turn it back over to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And your father, Dr. Rolark, and your mother, Wilhelmina Rolark. I used to go to the school board meetings when she was in school board, and I really admired your father's work within the city, especially with the United Black Fund.
Wow, fantastic. That's history right there. Yeah, she was a member of the city council. I don't think she made it on the school board, but I mean, that history is really great.
And Denise.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Can I say one thing? Yeah. That's what I'd say. Basically, I'd like to acknowledge the board members.
Yeah, let's let Mr. Wigglesworth let me get to this real quick because where time is running out, and I know it is. We got to recognize board members, but I want to make sure I can get him in quickly because one, I want to say congratulations. Two, what does this honor mean to you?
It means a lot. To be acknowledged as a Father of the Year, like we get celebrated for what I feel we should be doing in our community as fathers. And to be recognized by an organization for the things that I think that men should do is an honor.
You are a dad. You have how many children? You have sons?
I have two kids, one daughter who nominated me, and I have a son, and they're 18 and 13 years old, respectively.
Wow. And do you know what it was that, she said? Is there one thing that you can say that she said about you that maybe just struck a chord that you like, I didn't know she was really paying attention?
The main thing that she wrote about was my relationships with my friends and family and how I'm always there for them and how I'm a reliable person. And that struck a chord because I didn't, you show up for people and you don't realize that you're being a role model to your kids and how you show up for others. It's not just how you show up for them, it's how you show up for others as well.
Right. And I assume you have friends that are dads as well.
Of course, yes. I have
Yeah. And if you don't mind me intruding on your dad conversations, but what is it you all find that may be one of the biggest challenges that you face to fatherhood that you help each other out with?
It depends on their dynamic, but mainly co-parenting will be one of the main challenges in this era because, as we know, marriages don't quite, at this point in my life, marriages don't always work out, but co-parenting would be one of the main challenges as a man to stay active in your child's life and the importance of being active in your child's life, no matter how your parenting situation is with your other half.
Right. And how, sometimes I think these questions get personal, but I am curious about your relationship with your father.
With my father, it's had its ups and downs throughout my life, of course. But he was a presence in my life. It's like Councilman Jawan said, it takes a village. So I have my 7 fathers as well, including my father. I think knowing your father is important because you get to know who you are because some things are genetic.
Right.
You get to learn who you are. So I've learned who I am by observing my father and learning from him.
Wonderful. Yeah, Mr. Mann, I'm going to let you jump back in real quick because I know you want to recognize your board members. If we do that quickly.
Okay, real quickly. The founder and president is Ernest Woodson, and also on the board is Gordon Hackley, Dr. Kim Harris-Cobb, and Dana Taylor.
Okay. Oh, I was expecting, a list of 20.
No. That many people would be totally ineffective trying to work together. So.
Right. Well, I really want to thank you all for joining us on this day, to talk about Father's Day and what you all are doing to honor fathers in Prince George's and Montgomery County. I think it's real important that you do that and that the fathers get the recognition because you all don't get a lot of recognition, but it looks like that's changing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it took almost 50 years after Mother's Day for there to really even be a Father's Day. So we are making progress.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you both, thank all of you all for being with us. And I hope that you have a wonderful Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us on.
All right. See you next year.
All right.